Now it's on? Okay, all right. Well, the last time that I was in this large group instruction classroom, it looked different than this. This was the sanctuary for Oxford Community Church when I first got started with that church in 1999. We rented this building. It was the newest building in Oxford schools. In fact, when we went to the school district, Oxford Area Community Schools, and asked about renting to schools, they said, we love to rent to churches. You can use any building in the district except for the new middle school.
Which was this one.
Mm-hmm. So I took a look at one of the other schools, and the principal and I were both in agreement. She didn't want me there, and I didn't want to be there. Nothing was stated, but you just yes, indeed. So at the risk of doing an end around, I called the principal here directly, Dr. Karen Sage, and introduced myself and told her what we were doing, and she said, well, I don't see why you couldn't do that. So I went back to the same gentleman with the Oxford Area Community Schools and said, well, I took a look at this school, and that's just not going to work, but I just happened to be talking with Dr. Sage at the middle school, because I called her, but I didn't mention that to him. And you know, she said that she didn't think it would be a problem. I'm talking in, October. I'm not getting started until March. But they're still doing their punch list every week, and they're still trying to finish up and everything. And I said, no, we're talking down the road. And he said, well, okay. So anyway, we got our first start here, first 4.5 years of time here. So what I've got today, my mission assignment from Pastor Thomas. I understand it. The church is in a series on the book of Ephesians.
Right.
Okay. No, he didn't.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll shut up.
No, Well,
I'm sorry.
actually,
I know, it's kind of weird that we're doing that. No, I was trying to help him.
you're answering my question. Nothing wrong with that at all. So here, I'm going to give you about 3 different areas that we can cover today. And we may get a combination of them. He's given me Ephesians 5, verses 21 through 33, the passage talking about relationships to cover. Now, that's a little bit better than in the springtime when our church was doing a series on the book of Ephesians. And 6 weeks, 6 chapters, 1 chapter a week. If you ever tried to condense 1 chapter in the Bible into a 30, 35, 40-minute sermon, it's tough. But then Pastor Jesse, our lead pastor, got me excited because he said, Pastor Larry, the first part of Ephesians 5 really goes more with the last part of Ephesians 4. So I'll take that, and you can just start with verse 21. I was real excited. And then he said, but the first part of chapter 6 goes more with Ephesians 5. So I'm going to want you to take the first few verses and talk about parents and parenting, children relationship, and the slave, employee or employee. So I got up that Sunday morning and said, okay, in the next 35 minutes, I'm going to talk about husband-wife relationship, parent-child relationship, and boss-employee relationship. I'll have you out by 10 o'clock
Tomorrow.
Monday morning.
That would never fly here because we have a little running gag with Pastor Tom that sometimes we don't even get to 2 verses. We just,
Yeah. Well understood. So what Pastor Tom suggested was there's likely to be some stuff that you can't end up covering with the full church, and perhaps you can go over that in the Bible study. So that's one possibility. Second possibility, if you're in Philippians still, and you got a question about Philippians or something that you wanted to talk about in there, go for it. The third possibility, if you've ever had a question that you want God to answer for you, and if you knew he would, you'd ask it, you could throw that question at me too.
That's
Okay.
cool.
So
Question though.
I'll give you 30 seconds to think of a question. If you don't choose door number 3, we'll back up to door number 1 or 2.
Sorry, Monty. Oh, boy. It's all about you, Teresa. No, you wonder what question you'd want to ask, but you wouldn't want to know the answer.
There are some of those.
You know what I mean? It's like, how much can I handle? You know?
Well, then there's the questions to the answers that you didn't ask and you don't like the answer.
There you go too, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there and done that. Anything right now? Yes.
I have been having a lot of people just, even on the street, just strangers mention predestination.
Okay.
I got a phone call from somebody in Florida. The next weekend, I was purchasing something from a roadside stand, and
Yep.
the guy mentioned that to me, and Diane and I talked about it a little bit, and
Because our life group brought it up.
Yeah.
and how
So what's your question about predestination?
is